4 cabinet nominees feeling the heat today on Capitol Hill, including South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, up for U.S. Ambassador to the UN, and Georgia Congressman Tom Price, up for Health Secretary. Dr. Price explaining his primary goal earlier.
I think it's absolutely imperative that we have a system in place that has patients at the center and allows for every single American to have the opportunity to gain access to the kind of coverage that they want.
You share his goal of insurance for everybody.
It's been always my stated goal. It's what we've worked on and throughout my entire public career.
Chris Plant is a syndicated radio talk show host. Leslie Marshall is a Fox News contributor and syndicated radio talk show host. There were some fireworks in there today. Chris?
Well, they need to take someone down, right? The Democrats have promised their base that they're going to take somebody out. And Dr. Price, a medical doctor, a member of Congress, I suppose is as good a target for them as anyone. They want to take out somebody because it looks like they're all coasting through and they don't have a lot of power since they don't control the Senate. They don't have the votes. Harry Reid took the filibuster away from them. So they're kind of screwed, and they've got to take someone down because this is their stated goal.
They certainly are, Leslie, taking their best shots. But will we get anywhere with this, or will all the nominees pass through?
We know numerically the nominees are going to pass through. And Chris, I think you're old enough to remember when Democrats have been presidents and put forth nominees. This is politics as usual. Whatever party is in power says, thank you for coming. We love you. We respect you. Kisses, kisses. And whatever party is not, they grill them. And by the way, I think that's a responsibility of all left and right for the American people to properly vet an individual who has been nominated for a top position that's going to be
we're not exactly saying politics as usual, Chris, when we see that over 60 Democrats are sitting out the inauguration. There's a little something more going on here.
Well, the partisan rancor has never been more heated. They're trying everything they can to delegitimize the incoming administration. They want to destroy the careers and the reputations of one or more of the people nominated to take senior posts, cabinet posts, and otherwise. And it's a blood sport. It's not about whether they legitimately have anything that would disqualify them from taking the jobs. It's just about the kill. It's about the sport of the kill.
Well,
it's a vicious
And you
town.
look back at Betsy DeVos and her hearing. I'd be curious, Leslie, your take on how you think that went.
First of all, I don't think that, I think she avoided the question that a lot of people, especially Democrats, want to hear the answer to, and that is whether or not she plans to defund and dismantle the public education system throughout all 50 of the United States. That is a major concern because there are people out there, parents out there, like myself of an 8- and 9-year-old, some who are very happy with the public school system, although there are areas that have problems like Detroit. Detroit is not.
Well, she was certainly grilled in that room, that's for sure.
Everywhere.
I want to keep moving along because, as you know, we've got a countdown clock going. We are awaiting the president's final news conference in the White House briefing room. You've got a little picture of it down there below, Leslie. We'll watch that. Meanwhile, I want to ask you about President Obama now holding the record for granting more commutations than any other president in our nation's history. Today alone, he granted 209 commutations. 109 of those people were facing life sentences. And with today's 64 pardons, the president has now granted a total of 212 pardons. Chris?
Listen, this is a great week for terrorists, for criminals, for traitors. President Obama, little noticed item. They signed a deal, the administration did on Monday, in Cuba with the Cuban government, where Joanne Chesimard, who's a convicted cop killer, a terrorist, a radical, that was given safe haven in Cuba. The Obama administration cut a deal with the regime there that they don't have to return the criminals that are being given safe haven. He's trying to release as many people as possible from Guantanamo Bay, terrorists, many of whom will return to murder. He's commuted the sentence of Private Manning, who betrayed his country. And there's also a little noticed FALN member who's responsible for about 130 terrorist bombings in the United States. And he's a radical left-winger, and he's commuted his sentence. You start putting all these together, and I think you get a picture of who Barack Obama is.
All right, Leslie, last word to you. All of this happening in literally the final days of his presidency.
I'm not surprised. I mean, quite frankly, not because it's President Obama doing this. It's very common for presidents to commute, and sometimes not at the end. George W. Bush commuted sentences and almost 200 pardons. I think it was 172 total.
The number that President
presidency.
Obama has
yes, the
done
number
far exceeds any presidents who have come before him in recent.
And
no
not of
question.
terrorists and traitors and cop
question.
killers.
Okay. All right, we've got to leave it there, guys. As I mentioned, we are waiting the president's final news conference. Thank you for being here. Good to see both of you.